Hello, I'm Richard Ridge for Broadway World. The new musical A Bronx Tale will open on Broadway on December 1st at the Longacre Theater, and we drop by the rehearsal studio to bring you a sneak peek and to meet the company.
Hey, you with the crew. I'm still, whatever do. I'm still, got a lover. I'm still, whatever do. Some sweet summer nights in the corner of the rock. A romance that lasts and bites. A universe on one little block.
I love musicals. I've always loved musicals. So to me, to bring this story in a musical format is so meaningful for me, because there were so many things that I wanted to say in the movie that I couldn't, and things in the one-man show when I first did that all those years ago that I couldn't. But the musical format, I was able to really flesh out my father even more. My dad played sax, and that's why he always used to say the saddest thing in life is wasted talent. Because he always felt that maybe he kind of wasted his talent, but he took a job as a bus driver because to help, back then it was different, So I was always happy to tell that through line and talk about racism, especially where the world is today. Doing a musical is a bear. It is one of the hardest things anybody can do. At any minute, anything can go wrong. So I really believe in finding the most talented people around, having a great story, and then you have a shot of something good could really happen.
Years ago, I thought of what a wonderful musical it could be, and told Chaz to bring me some, if he had thought about that. And he said, yeah, he had some, and he worked with a musician, I said, let me hear it, and I heard it, and it wasn't right. So I kind of just gave up on it. I didn't even think that. So a few years ago, when we started this process again and finally followed through, I said, let's hear that original music again, but what you did, because he said that he had written some stuff, and I realized after hearing that stuff that I didn't like, it wasn't that I didn't like it, it wasn't right for the thing, and so then Chaz showed me some of his stuff, and I said, this is the way we should be going. It's your voice. I don't know what I was thinking then.
I'm proud of the journey we've gone through to get it to this point. To bring people who are so skeptical about Broadway, I want to do a musical, but I don't want it to be too Broadway, and then bring us together to create this blend that really works in terms of authenticity for people like Chaz and Bob and Tommy, and yet works also as a theatrical experience for Jerry and for Glenn and for me and for Sergio. So it's I'm proud of it.
We have such a fantastic cast, and we get to come to rehearsal every day and watch these guys who are so primed and ready to go. We had a fantastic out-of-town run at the Paper Mill. Everybody came back saying what we had there was great, but can we kick it up a couple more notches? And we on the creative side have been busy tightening and lifting and pulling the strings so that everything feels coiled and ready to go, and our actors have been responding to those changes with, I've never seen so much just built-in energy ready to explode off the stage.
You have really made this show dance. I mean, what great styles you get to put into this.
Yeah, I think this show, out of all the shows, it was challenging in terms of figuring out what character, what role does dance play in this show, and it's just figuring out when does this show move and how does it move and when does it dance, because I didn't want it to take away from the story. But I'm still working on it. I'm still fine tuning, but I also wanted to capture a certain style because the show takes place in the 50s and 60s, so I really need, and also making my own. So I thank God I had Jersey Boys in Memphis and Usher Cop under my belt, because I have decades of 50s and 60s research under my belt. So.
Yeah.
can't say enough about our creative team. They are so dedicated to the authenticity, and they love this piece and this story so much, and they've got such history with this piece that there's such care in making sure we tell it to its fullest extent and really give it the, Bronx Tale is about respect and loyalty, friendship, love, and mostly family, and they've really worked hard to make sure all of these aspects are represented in their fullest way.
It's been great working with Robert De Niro, Jerry Zaks, and Chaz Palminteri. It's really. I'm very excited because this is actually my Broadway debut. Yeah, and it's an amazing show, and it's really exciting.
So you've been on Broadway before, right?
Yeah, I've been in Les Mis on Broadway, so this is my second Broadway show.
So did you tell him how cool his Broadway debut is going to be that night?
It's going to be really awesome because they're going to have a bit of a cast party. It's going to be huge. It's going to be really good, and you get to stay all night.
I play Tyrone in the show, and he is the brother of Jane. He gets beat up in the show, which is for no reason at all. And he kind of has to, he goes through a moment of wanting to get payback, and he kind of goes against the wrong person, which is Calogero. But I think through it all, he learns a lesson too in the story, which is, love has no color, which is important.
Working with legends like Jerry Zaks and Robert De Niro, the great Chaz Palminteri and his story, Alan Menken. We had a thing the other night, and Alan Menken just sat down and played us highlights of his songbook, and it was just it was amazing. We're working with living legends, and that's a thrill.
Talk about the role that you play.
Well, I play Lorenzo. I play our protagonist's father, Calogero, which is actually Chaz's real name, and he's a hardworking blue-collar man, drives a bus, and he just wants a better life for his son, and he just wants to protect his family and make sure that his son makes the right choices in life.
We had a great time out in New Jersey at the Paper Mill Playhouse, and to get back into the room with it for a Broadway show is incredible. And I think we have a better version this time. We got some new energy, new cast members, some new songs, and we're really taking another crack at it and having it be a little more authentic, a little more, visceral. It's audiences are really going to like it.
What a great role for you. What do you love about him?
I love about the role, I love that he's a little more diverse than Cheech, which is the role I played in Bullets Over Broadway that Chaz Palminteri made famous. You get to see different sides of this character. He can be compassionate, he's funny, a bit of a softer side to this guy who, from a distance might seem like he's very sort of, tough and hard to get into. But it's we get to show a human side of this role, which I think is going to be interesting.
Give them too much, they won't need you. Give them too little and they'll sneer. You want to know what to give them? The answer ain't love, it's fear. Frankie, Tony, JoJo, look at how it is with them. Sure, you think those fellas love me? Think again, says Nicky M. Joke, they start laughing. Hell, they nearly stand and cheer. Funny, ain't that funny? That laughter ain't love, it's fear.
It's a story about love. It's a story about finding out who you are and what it means to have integrity and to make bold choices and to stand behind them. And I think that's something that's very important this day and age, is to remind people and that you have the power of choice. It's up to you to stand up and say when something's wrong, or to say what you believe in, and that your voice matters. And that's what I think my character and Calogero do for our show.
What a great role. What's it like working on him?
It's phenomenal. I think the best part is how open Chaz has been about his life, because I'm essentially playing him. And we understand that this needs to be its own entity, because Chaz playing himself in a one-man show is its own level of brilliance. And so we needed to find what was unique when we tell it in this setting of musical theater. But, the third day after I got this job, Chaz calls me on the phone and says, I'm going to take you to the Bronx. And I sit on his stoop and I see where the killing happened, and we go to Gino's Pastry Shop and have cannolis, and but you just get the experience so that I can tangibly understand what I'm talking about, what I'm singing. and it's extraordinary. Knowing what things in the show actually happen and what things are kind of extrapolated. There's a whole second show that could be written about other things that happen in his life. So he's an extraordinary man in terms of how much he's opened himself up to it, but still given me trust and space to find what I can actually bring to it, because I uniquely will, because I'm Bobby and I'm not Chaz playing it, and he's been extraordinary.